Hey, what's up, guys? Aaron here, back for another video. This particular video is not going to be exposing anybody scamming or e-bagging. This one is actually more of an opinion video. David Icke. Now, in case you're not familiar with David Icke, he was an aspiring footballer, soccer player. Became a sports, a relatively prominent broadcaster over in the UK. And then one day showed up on a talk show wearing a goofy-looking tracksuit and claiming that he was the Son of God. And for years became a laughingstock. But since he, in the mid-90s, I believe, mid to late 90s, he re-emerged, reinvented himself with a brand of conspiracy theory. Now, I can't say that he is the godfather of it, but he might as well be. The reptilian agenda. Basically, what that means is that there's a race. What he thinks, he believes that there's a race, a master race, bloodline that masquerades as human beings, more or less skinwalkers, like the American Indians have called them, that secretly rule the planet and have basically all of mankind virtually enslaved. He also has labeled this reptilian race as very satanic, very ritualistic, with human sacrifice and the drinking of blood. And a lot of his books go into great detail. Now, these books, they're thick, 800-900 pages. It's pretty out there stuff, but for one reason or another, it has become one of the top 10 most believed conspiracies on Earth. That's per Time magazine. You can quote me on that. And the reason I'm doing a video about him is because I've seen many videos about the guy. I've done a fair amount of research on David Icke. And the conclusion I've come to is that he's in it for the money. There's been times where he's been cornered. Jesse Ventura cornered him. A few other, during interviews and stuff, people have cornered him to really nail down for proof of his theories. And because he's made a living out of this, not just the books. He does weekend lectures where he'll be at a convention center and speaking before a packed house of a few thousand people, and and he does these long lectures, and they're pretty pricey. He did one in New York City. It was a little while ago, about almost a year, and tickets were high. For nosebleed seats, it was about $150 for the weekend, which, to listen to a guy ramble about space creatures basically dominating mankind behind a shroud of sea, I don't know, it just sounds, to me it sounds insane. And at the end of the day, it's a business for him. He may masquerade as, this caring guy that's just revealing information to the populace. I don't buy it for a second. I believe, just like Jesse Ventura and a few other people have said, he's got an agenda, and that's to get paid. He wants to get paid, and he does. He gets paid handsomely. He lives on the Isle of Man, which doesn't mean, that doesn't exactly scream wealth, but the Isle of Man is a relatively upscale place, in over in England. So, I just feel like the guy, with all the malarkey that he spews, and it really just begs the question: does he really believe what he's writing books about, or is he writing books to get money? I would say more than likely. He makes other predictions. He's made statements that ISIS was a fabrication, more or less a creation of the CIA, which I've heard that other places as well. He also believes that ISIS is going to lead to World War III. Just like all these theories, and then, the reptilian agenda thing. And really, that's his bread and butter. He does this, and I've seen the presentation. It's pretty ludicrous. He pretty much takes his book, stretches it out over a weekend, and does these 3 and 4 hour sessions where people sit down and they watch a PowerPoint, and in the PowerPoint, he quotes the book. There's no actual proof of anything, and people just bite right on. I think this is a lot of the problem, in the communities, where these conspiracy theory communities. This is where the conception on the outside of these communities, that these people wear, tinfoil hats, and, there are genuine people out there that do real research and really care and are really trying to wake people up. But then you have guys like this guy, and it just begs the question, is he for real, or is he getting paid? Is he pushing his own agenda, which is to line his pockets? Jesse Ventura almost said that verbatim to him. And, he was squirming in his chair. And I would love, more than anything in this world, I would love to sit down with that guy just for 15 minutes and just ask him tough questions. Jesse Ventura, granted, it was on a TV show that's meant to be entertainment, but it did appear that the guy, he kind of caught him off guard with some of the questions he was asking him. So it kind of begs the question, maybe. I don't know. So, and honestly, guys, I've said this myself. I don't subscribe to all the conspiracy theories, and I'm not into all that stuff. I don't get too deep into any of that. But let's be honest. If you really want for a certain conspiracy theory to be taken seriously, I highly doubt that you would want a guy like David Icke at the helm. I think you would want somebody a little more believable, not a guy who went on a talk show and claimed to be Jesus Christ. I'm just saying, his credibility kind of goes out the window. And the fact that people seem to have forgotten that, and then, just blindly latch on to his lunacy. If you guys like the guy, hey, enjoy. If you want to just look at it for entertainment, hey, there you go. Entertainment at its finest. But for something to be perceived as a possible reality, no. I'm sorry. No. I would really need to see a reptilian, walking around a neighborhood somewhere for me to even remotely believe that. And even then, I might think that somebody was playing tricks on me. So, David Icke and the reptilian agenda, I don't know. I'd been walking around for months, years actually, and was never really sure what to think of this guy. I always thought he was a fraud, but, I think after I've just talked myself through this whole thing, my conclusion on David Icke is that he's an entertainer who's getting paid to entertain people. There's my take on David Icke. I think he's a fraud. But, you know, to each his own. Some people look to him as some sort of a leader of a movement. You want to do that? Fine. Don't look to me to try to tell you otherwise. You know, this is just my opinion. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Reptilians.